We're live.
Yes, yes, yes,
Hello. Hello, everyone. Megan, how are you this week? We're back live, back where we belong.
yes. I'm good. I'm good. It's cold in New York. It's rainy,
Okay.
so it's a rainy, cold day.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of fired up due to what happened this week on wrestling.
There's
You
been a
know,
lot happening.
a
So
lot of
much.
shit has happened. A lot of shit
Yeah.
has happened. Absolutely.
Well, tell me, what do you want to talk about?
Well, first, let's start back on Raw because
Mm,
Raw we got to see Cody twice
yes.
this week. We got to see him kind of infiltrate Monday Night Raw, despite the fact that he is not the champion of Raw, but he is
Yeah.
the undisputed champion, so he should have carte blanche to both shows.
He's the face of WWE, though, really, isn't he?
That he is,
Yeah.
but a lot of people don't like to admit that. Um, but yeah, the show started here, New York City, in the best arena in the world, Madison Square
Fantastic
Garden.
arena. Yeah.
And the show started off with him pretty much just talking about what happened in
Happy Easter to you, too, Dave. David
yes,
Woodland.
thank you. Just pretty much what happened this past, well, the week before last on SmackDown. And so he came out and he was talking his talk, and then Stephanie McMahon came out.
Yeah. That was a
Haven't
bit
seen her in
strange.
forever. Was it?
I did find it a bit strange. Like she's getting inducted this year into the Hall of Fame. I know that, of course, and rightly or wrongly so. I don't know, but yeah, it was a bit of a surprise that she arrived. You know, pretty much telling him that he can't beat Randy Orton in his current form.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah,
Well, I feel like Cody needs that push. He needs that push. He needs that reminder. I feel like I feel like when it comes down to the storyline between Cody and Randy right now, it is running in second place compared to the CM Punk and the Roman storyline. Right now, at this very moment, if they were to say that Roman and CM Punk's match is going to close out WrestleMania this year, I have no qualms about that because
has that been confirmed though?
it
That
hasn't.
is.
No, it hasn't. It haven't been confirmed. As of right now, we still don't know what match is going to close the show.
Mm,
But the way their feud is set up compared to to Cody's and Randy's right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to close out with them two. You know,
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like Randy and CM, Randy and Cody has a 20-year plus background. Their feud goes all the way back. There is so many people who could be involved in this feud that is not,
But
and they're
who did it choose to be involved in it?
Jelly Roll
Yeah.
and Pat McAfee, and it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But I have to get your opinion on it before I go on my rant. So,
Well, it made no sense. Absolutely no sense. Pat McAfee coming out. I I liked the promo. It was very WCW esque. I feel in a way, but it's just the whole reveal, and I guess everybody had their expectations built up for so many different names. There, like you say, there's so many people that could have been pulled in there. I see DiBiase Jr. is going to be in Vegas at WrestleCon over that weekend. So who knows? But yeah, it was just out of nowhere with Pat McAfee, and apparently, if rumors are to be believed, that is not WWE that had anything to do with that. That's the guys, the TKO guys. But the delivery, everything was good, but I just think it fell a bit flat in terms of it being him.
I have my opinion on the whole TKO thing. And I actually mentioned this last year and maybe the year before.
Mm.
I do believe that WWE do feed these websites storylines
Oh, yeah.
and pose them off as facts. So, what I mean by that is, are we really going to sit up here and believe that the face of WWE, the current undisputed champion, is going to come out and publicly call out Pat McAfee, but also the people who's supposed to be behind him, which is supposed to be Ari Emanuel, his boss, and TKO, and there won't be any repercussions? I don't believe it. I do believe that this is their way in just bringing The Rock back in. The Rock is the final boss, is he not? Is he not the board member of TKO? Is he not the boss of Triple H?
But do you not think that that's yet again people hoping that The Rock shows his face, like they were hoping Chris Jericho was going to show up in recent times, and we saw that's not going to happen now.
That's their fault for believing that Chris Jericho is going to show up. I mean, it is more believable that The Rock is going to show up because The Rock was involved in the last two WrestleMania-esque moments.
Yeah, but then you could say The Rock could fit in even in the other main event because of the bloodline storyline there.
Absolutely can. But
Yeah.
right now, I mean, it will be obvious if The Rock was to insert himself in the CM Punk and Roman feud. But if WWE wants us to believe that their top champion, along with the big wigs in WWE, is publicly feuding with TKO because you brought Pat McAfee in and that was against their creative decision, then it's more common that The Rock would show up for that, seeing as how The Rock seems to have, in my words, an obsession with Cody because he was
But why?
involved.
But why did it have to be Pat McAfee? Why him?
Well, I do feel like because of the current partnership between WWE slash TKO and ESPN,
Okay.
it would make sense since Pat is a big face on ESPN. It wouldn't have made sense if it was Joe, for the simple fact that he's all from ESPN, but Pat, it had to be Pat, but I just hate that they decided to go with, instead of focusing on this feud that we then had the fans waiting for the last 4 years since Cody came back, let's build on involving ESPN in the story. That's where I feel like they kind of,
I think
this
it's
could have been pushed
devalued. It's devalued that main event because there's enough in it between those two guys and the history that they have together without bringing in Jelly Roll. Now, I have to say, I've been impressed with Jelly Roll in various different ways. Like in SummerSlam last year, I think he did well. I think he's good on the mic in some ways, but I just don't feel he fits in here. And He doesn't need to, and neither does Pat McAfee. I think there was enough. He didn't even have to bring Stephanie McMahon into it last week, and for some reason, it just feels like, and they're trying to shoehorn Vince in a way in, or test the waters by dropping his name or alluding to him in some ways. And with everything that's come out this week, that would be so wrong as well on so many levels. But I don't know. Like it's a difficult one to.
But but Stephanie makes sense because Stephanie actually has the history with both Cody and Randy that Jelly
Mm,
Roll and Pat McAfee don't. They could have even, you know, in a perfect world, the person that Randy was talking to on the phone wouldn't have been none other than Stephanie's big brother, Shane. Like, because you have alluded to the fact that whoever it was that Randy was talking to on the phone comes from a wrestling family background. Because with Randy reciting Cody's line about
mm-hmm.
wrestling having more than one royal family, you alluded that whoever it was that you was talking to on the phone has some sort of history. Their
But
family
maybe
has history. So
maybe it
I
would have made more sense to have Shane McMahon, or maybe he could still be involved in some way.
I still like to believe that WWE has a tendency of pulling the rug from underneath us. So Pat might not be the person that Randy was talking to the whole time. Or
Yeah.
Pat could just be someone that was sent by the real person that Randy was talking to on the phone. I would hate to believe that Pat is that person, but only time will
Yeah.
tell.
It is. It's so tough to tell. And we have that other main event, of course, CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Things are getting very, very heated, kind of repetitive in a way. Like it's a war of words. And then we saw the Punk doing to Reigns last Monday the very same thing he had done to him the week before, and put through the table, the announce table outside. But that's an interesting one too. How do you feel about that?
I enjoy their feud. I
Yeah.
like the exchange of words. I've liked how they have both kind of went below the belt. Now I wasn't too crazy with Roman's rebuttal to CM Punk saying he was going to bury him next to his father as you're old, because it's like we're all old, Roman. We're all in the same age bracket. Like we're all between the ages of 35 and
All the top guys in WWE at the minute are
we're
40
all
plus,
old.
really.
Yeah. So, I felt like there was probably something that Roman could have dug into CM Punk without being overly offensive, without being insulting. I'm sure there was something that he could have used, but it seems to be working
Mm,
right now. So maybe not going below the belt is working best in their favor, but you know,
yeah. Is there
what
still a
they
twist there,
have
though?
well,
Jey
what they
Uso.
have is what we're missing with the
Mm,
Cody and Randy, which is the exchange of words. We need them two to get in the ring and actually exchange words with each other. And that's what we're getting with, you know, Punk and Roman.
yeah. But we have, like I say, we have that Jey Uso factor there also. Um, he's definitely changed in recent weeks. Actually, far more interesting now he's becoming, because I couldn't take to that eat fest every week. I just think he's actually working better now, the way we see him, and actually telling Roman there a couple of weeks ago to finish Punk, put him to sleep, do whatever. So nearly calling the shots in a way. And yeah, I think that's
Oh,
pretty
the real
cool.
tribal chief.
Don't know whether he is the real tribal chief or whether he has that in him, but I mean, just a more intense um, type of feel to him, you know.
Jey Uso's always been like that. I think we just got so used to the whole Yeet Man that we
Mm.
forgot that this is Jay. Jay always had been the hothead. He's always been the firecracker out of him and his brother Jimmy. So we're just being reintroduced to that part. But that side of him is always going to come out anytime he is involved with Roman because Roman brings that side of him out. Um, because when he was on Raw and he had the Intercontinental title and he had the World Heavyweight title, he was more about the crowd, yeeting with the kids and stuff, like that is who he was, even when he was going up against Gunther, going up against Braun Breaker, he didn't have that edge to him. It's anytime Roman is some at some distance close to him, you're always going to bring that side of Jay out. Now, is Jay really involved in this story? They'll probably bring him back into it at some point, but um if they did, it would make more sense because saying all the names, but the names I need to say. CM Punk did say something that it affects the family.
Uh-huh.
CM Punk, even though, and I still stand on this, even though he didn't say anything derogatory against Sika, it was still seen as disrespect, rightfully so. So the whole family feels some type of way about that because that is an elder. That's
And there's a lot of that family that could
yeah.
come out.
So it would make sense for them to be involved in it at some point. But then it's like at some point this is CM Punk and Roman.
Mm.
We don't need too many people involved. These
Yeah.
two can pretty much handle things themselves. So
Well, that's it, and we don't want to get overbooked either. Too many people running in and interfering. We saw a lot of that in the past. It kind of messes up the momentum of these matches and so on. But one interesting development last Monday was Gunther showing up and putting Seth Rollins to sleep, because I'd wondered for some time, was Gunther going to be involved with the big push that he's had. He ended Cena's career. Um, like, I mean, he's AJ Styles. Like, he's done it. He's been positioned in that manner, and yeah, was beginning to think, what's the story here? And he slotted back in well, because I think that could be a really interesting match.
yeah. I do like the fact that you didn't mention Goldberg because, like, who cares about his career? But at the same time, the
Slipped my
whole
mind.
it didn't slip his because he thinks Triple H shut off his mic during his retirement speech, and I said, you know what? If I was Triple H, I would have done the same thing. Get out my ring. Like, you got
Yeah.
your match. Get out
Bill
my ring.
Goldberg, Bret Hart.
I would have
Yeah.
done it in a heartbeat. Yep, I would have shut that mic right off. But the whole, I mean, be honest, the whole career killer gimmick was going to hit a wall at some point anyway, because there's not that many people that is retiring currently,
That's it.
and if you're not having frequent matches where you are winning and people are retiring, then what are we doing with you? You will be like Sheamus. We don't see you. So it's at some point they had to pivot. Maybe they pivot because Braun Breaker is not um, medically cleared to wrestle. Not to say he won't pop up at WrestleMania. I
Mm.
think he'll be there. Um, Bronson Reed is not medically cleared to wrestle. So yes, Seth needed a match and Gunther needed a match. Um,
Is
maybe
Gunther
they.
now a Paul Heyman guy though?
It would make sense if they put it out that he is. It will make sense that Gunther was hired
So then
by.
he'll be part of the Vision.
Oh, he don't need to be. No more than Brock Lesnar is a part of the Vision.
Mm.
Like Paul has his boys, and he has them separated. And Brock right now, Brock don't want no parts of Logan and Austin Theory, and I don't blame him. He's his own man, and it will be the same thing with Gunther. But yeah, it would make sense if they wrote it as Paul hired Gunther to take down Seth at WrestleMania. But knowing how they write things, maybe they'll just say that Gunther still had some sort of beef with Seth after all these years. Who knows?
Possibly, yeah. It just it's a nice one that they slotted in there because, like I said, I didn't know whether Gunther would be involved. So it's pretty cool to see that, and we have Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. Very, very interesting. You see that there's a lot of interest among fans for that because they're the classic big guys that I guess everybody loved back in the day. Um, and Lesnar's been doing a solid job putting Obafemi over, in the last few weeks. How that materializes and pans out at WrestleMania, I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely one that's captured a lot of the imagination of fans.
Yeah. I mean, I would hope that this is a match that Brock puts over. Because the
Can't see it.
last time he faced a big Nigerian, he beat him. He beat him. He beat Omos. So I will hope that this is one of those matches where Brock would take that L. But I don't know. I don't know. It's
I can't
kind of
see it
hard
happening.
to tell. Yeah. You
Do you
know.
think though? Do you really think it would harm Obafemi to lose to Lesnar at
His
WrestleMania? Like even
very
if he looks,
first, his very first WrestleMania moment, his very first WrestleMania match. Uh, it won't help him. It won't help the momentum.
mm,
You brought him up. You had him to relinquish his title on NXT after winning twice. Y'all brought him up and y'all put him on both SmackDown and Raw. And you had him pretty much just bulldozing through all these men. Now you have Brock Lesnar announcing an open challenge for someone to face him at WrestleMania. And Oba accepted that challenge. Now, Brock is that wall that he can't bust through. Like, of all the men that he had faced, Brock is the one that he can't beat. Yeah, I think it will hurt him a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, he still have a good 20, 25 years left in his career.
yeah,
But hey, when Brock first came with Paul, they
it's
pushed Brock. They
it's
pushed him.
difficult, and I may be doing Lesnar a disservice, but it's difficult to see him wanting to, to give to do the business for Obafemi. However, he has been doing it these past few weeks, and I saw an interview with him recently. I can't remember the podcast, but where he was talking about like his kids, and what he's doing, and like humanized him a little bit more in a way with the way he was talking and how he's so proud of his kids and all that type of stuff. And I know a lot of the legal issues he's been part of and various allegations and so on like that. But
And
um,
do you feel like that's the reason why he's trying to humanize himself
lighten his
because
image,
of
perhaps. Yeah,
what?
yeah, that
I
could be
mean,
it too.
think about it.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, you
100%.
sitting there texting people, women, asking them to show
That is
you
correct.
their
Yeah,
feet. Yeah,
yeah,
there's some things about Brock that I've learned that I wish I didn't know.
yeah.
Um,
That is a
but
rabbit hole you could go down reading about a lot
I
of.
will be trying to crawl myself out of that rabbit hole because I don't want to go any further into that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I do respect the fact that he is very involved in his children's lives and in their careers and what they choose to do in their lives and their hobbies and stuff. And maybe this is also a point in his life where he's starting to see, like, hey, I can't be doing this forever. I'm at that age, I might want to start looking into my own retirement. I might want
yeah.
to figure out what I want to do after I'm gone. So I do respect him for that. How many more WrestleManias does Brock Lesnar have? Probably not many.
I
You
wouldn't think
know,
so.
if this is his last one, then yeah, okay, I can see him winning. If he has at least one or two left, then, you know, I feel like Ova should win. I do.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like he should win. You know, um, I don't know if this is just going to be a one-up thing. Like, I don't know if after their WrestleMania match, that's going to be it. Like, he'll move on to somebody else. But
Possibly. Depends on how it goes. Like we'll have backlash, but I don't know if that's a big enough event for Lesnar to turn up at. But we'll have to wait and see, I
yeah, we
guess.
will have to see. Yeah, it's in Tampa.
Yeah,
Go on and take yourself out there to Tampa and tear the house up. I mean, you popped up at SummerSlam. Outside of SummerSlam, how many PLEs did he show up to? He was at SummerSlam.
it's
He was
Royal
at the
Rumble
Royal
anyway.
Rumble, and now WrestleMania, right?
The
So
main four, like the old days, I suppose Survivor Series and all of those types, But um, yeah, look, we'll wait and see. One feud I kind of like at the minute is, and for its intensity and it's a little bit bit chaotic, is Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan. I think they're both doing quite well with that. It's ramped up a little bit in recent times. I didn't think at first that Stephanie Vaquer kind of had that in her, but I've been quite impressed. How do you think that's going?
I don't have I don't have really nothing to add to that. I
Yeah,
definitely enjoyed their feud. Um,
it
it's
has
just
that
kind
little
of like,
personal element to it. It's.
I mean, that's
I think
one
it,
way of seeing it. Kind of like the other feud, which is kind of personal, but in a very awkward
not as
sense.
effective. No, it doesn't feel as
You want to know
authentic,
why?
really.
Because
And
I really feel like there is real animosity between the
yeah,
two. Whereas with Stephanie and Liv, you know, you could really entertain the fans when you're having fun yourself. Rhea already made it clear that she wasn't having fun, and I still don't think she's having fun, and that's why this feud is just not. It just doesn't feel like any feud that she has ever been in
yeah.
because, um, there's personal beef between them two,
But
and it's like,
do you feel that maybe Jade Cargill is just that big of a personality as well, and maybe it's a little bit intimidating to Rhea in some ways, or does that come into it at all?
my personal opinion.
Yeah,
I feel like I feel like some people feel like Jade shouldn't be as confident as she is because she has not been in the business as long as they have. That's what I think. I think they feel like she should be more humbled.
She's a
I
bit
feel like
arrogant.
they feel like she should be a little bit more small. She should be smaller in her delivery, in
And do
her
you agree
self
with that?
confidence. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This business is made on cockiness. People might want to call it arrogance, but that is
Rick
how you
Martel.
become. That's how like you don't get to the top by being meek and I think I could be champion one day, or I surely hope I could be champion one day. No, like you have to be cocky, you have to be confident in yourself, and that is what she is. And she sat on the Joe Button podcast and she said, my NXT was AEW. And ooh, that pissed people off, but it's like, why? She didn't have to go to the indies. She never
Yeah.
went to a wrestling school. Maybe that has, maybe that worked against her when it comes down to her wrestling ability.
Do you think
But
there's
at,
jealousy involved there from others towards her?
there might be some people back there that feel like she shouldn't be champion.
But
So that probably could stem.
it's
That
been in
probably
wrestling
could
since
stem from jealousy.
time began, really, hasn't it? Like the top spot. If you're in the top spot, you're kind of you have a lot of enemies in some ways because they want to be in that spot that you're in.
Yes. However, I feel like if it really just to me it really falls on how you carry yourself in that position. And she was TBS champion in AEW. She came here. She became tag team champion with
But
Bianca.
let me put this to you, right? So she has the persona down. She has the arrogance. She has that swagger about her. But does she have the tools in the ring to back that up, in your
See,
personal opinion?
I think she's fine the way she is.
Okay.
I think she's fine the way she is. Not everybody's gonna be a technical wrestler. Not everybody's gonna be a high flyer. Not everybody is going to be, have a gymnast background or MMA background or jujitsu background. There's a lot of wrestlers in there that ring right now that has none of that background. They were football players, you know.
Tiffany Stratton was a
Goldberg,
gymnast, wasn't she?
she was.
Yeah.
Not everybody's gonna be Shayna Baszler. Not everybody's gonna have that background. She's a bit. Jade is almost 6 feet tall. She shouldn't be doing anything but picking people up and throwing them across the ring. That's what she's supposed to be doing. She's a powerhouse. It's the
Is
same
she
thing
bigger
with
than
China.
China was? Um,
But look, I'll put it this way. I met Jade, and even with sneakers on, I'm still a little taller than her. So
mm,
she's a tall girl, but I'm taller. Now, if I ever do meet Lash, Lash is supposed to be 6 feet. We'll figure out if I really
well,
hit that
I
six
met
feet
Nia
mark yet.
Jax. I met Nia Jax, and she was the same height as me. I'm 6 foot tall. She was the same height as
Okay,
me.
well, see, you know, but I feel like Jade is what she's supposed to be, where she is. She's doing what she's supposed to be doing. Some people even went as far, and I remember this, as much as people might try to deny it and say that China wasn't a strong wrestler. China was sitting there cracking skulls. She was
China was
fighting
amazing.
men. Okay, she was fighting heavyweight,
Yeah, she was
weight class
fabulous.
men. So, you know, to say that Jade is not a strong wrestler, that's an opinion that people are free to have. You know, I'm sure she's heard that probably more times than we have. But, you know, there's people who have wrestled for 20 years and never been in a WWE ring. And then there's her who's been wrestling for under 10 years. And now she's one of the top women champions. So,
Yeah, well, look, I mean, you can only play the hand of cards you've been dealt. And I mean, if these opportunities open for people like herself, you're going to take them. You're not going to turn them down. Like we'd be the same ourselves if we got these chances and opportunities. So
yeah. But,
more
you know,
power
it's
to her.
like, it's the questioning whether or not she should be there. Don't question her. Don't question her ability, because clearly the people who signs her checks, the people who put together the shows that we enjoy watching, feel like she's supposed to be there. Because if she
Yeah,
wasn't, she wouldn't. She wouldn't be there. You know? So
yeah.
it's not a matter of if she should be there. It's a matter of what is your real issue with her. Because it's not the wrestling ability, because there's plenty of people in that ring who can't wrestle. I don't think Tiffany Stratton is a strong wrestler. I
Controversial.
don't. I don't think Tiffany Stratton is a strong wrestler, and every time she does some type of moonsault, she's always taking a chance on her life when she does that moonsault. Because if
Yeah.
she doesn't take her own self out, she's gonna
Well, we
take somebody
saw
else out one day.
a fabulous wrestler this past week, Io Sky, with a suicide dive, and she was very, very lucky. I'm not sure if you
Yeah.
spotted that with her
Well,
neck. She
you
could have
know,
really.
I and honestly, I just think that was just a freak accident. You
Yeah,
know, that
yeah.
was just a freak accident. It's I know people got on Peter Rosenberg's ass because of what he said, but he was not wrong. It is a dangerous move to do, you know, because one, had she had landed on her neck any worse than she did, we wouldn't be having this conversation. You
No.
know, we will be talking about whether or not she'll be able to wrestle again.
And
But we got to see her on SmackDown.
she's an unbelievable wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, like I honestly, I'm not a trained wrestler. I can't tell people whether or not to do these moves. Um, you know, the fans get excited anytime they see people do them,
Yeah.
but you know, every day, I'm sure, every day they step foot into that ring, they're wondering whether or not they're going to be able to walk out the same way that they walked in. Anything can happen at
Definitely.
any point.
Yeah.
So,
We've seen it. We've seen it many times in the past. People losing their lives. Even it's. I've so much respect for any of them that
yeah.
get between the ropes anytime. And that's from indie wrestling right up. It's
Hmm.
unbelievable what they do. But I have to bring this one up. It's fucking Sami Zayn. Like I I just I don't I don't understand what's going on there with Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams and this whole thing that's going on. It's just fucking ridiculous. And
Well, people people either fail to realize or they just choose to ignore the fact that that whole United States Championship has Sammy written all over it. We saw this man fight
no,
Gunther time and time again. Him and Chad fight
no,
Gunther
this
for that
his
title.
whole character is
And
just
he
it's
took, I know y'all hate him,
boring.
but it's like, y'all can't get me to hate Sammy. Y'all can't. I love my ginger brother.
But their
I
end
think he
goal,
gets the bad end of the deal all the time.
they're positioning him if Saudi Mania goes ahead. They're positioning him, to be in that main event picture by the time we get around to Saudi Mania, and they're gonna give him the big one. What do you think? And they just have to fit him in somewhere. Yes, he's a little bit more interesting in recent times with the way he's been acting and everything, but I think it was a bit wasteful just having Carmelo Hayes drop the belt to him for this reason. I would have much preferred for him to carry on as he was. I think he was doing quite well. He's been really good.
I mean, yeah. I feel like Carmelo's title run was very interesting, but at the same time, Dragunov kept lingering around. And it's like, at what point, how far could you go with the open challenges with Carmelo? You know, ever since Sammy had the title, it was open challenges. Sammy lost it to Dragunov.
But
Dragunov
that's
lost
not
it to Carmelo.
Carmelo's fault
It's
either.
not. What I'm saying is, it's that how far can you go with that? You don't have that many mid card wrestlers on SmackDown.
SmackDown is terrible in comparison to
Like you
Raw.
kept he faced Dragunov like 2 or 3 times. Like at some point, it's like, how many times are y'all gonna keep giving us this match? So you know, yeah, it's the fault of them for how they book Carmelo. But he was hitting a wall. This whole
Mm,
open challenge thing, I don't like it because after a certain point, you're wrestling the same people over and over again. And then you
yeah,
give this the title, and then they're wrestling the same people over and over again. Stop with the open
that's it.
challenges and find a feud and stick with it.
Yeah,
Plain and
and
simple. And right
there was
now,
only enough room for some video promos from Jacob Fatu, and Drew McIntyre this week, as well. So, you know, I thought to keep the momentum going there with that, but it's nearly getting lost in the crowd with all the other matches that have like it. It's such a packed card for the 2 nights
it
already,
is.
and
Well, there is. Remember how I said the United States title needed a feud? We now have that feud. And that's
mm,
Sammy and Trick Williams. Because
yep.
them two have been, Trick has been riding Sammy's ass from the beginning. Now, do I feel like Carmelo should be in that match as a triple threat? We have 2 weeks. I'm sure they're going to add him to it. I'm sure of it. I'm more than positive Carmelo is going to be added to that match and it's going to become a triple threat. So I'm not even worried about that.
Could be Danhausen
Um,
yet, Megan.
well, a lot of them have their issues. I mean, he still cursed the Miz.
Yeah.
So I can see that becoming a match
Yes.
at some point. It should be.
But we're
Um,
probably looking at 4 hours each night here at this stage. 4 hours plus with the amount of matches that they've announced already.
good.
And if you look
Yeah.
at the noticeable absentees, even from Mania itself at the minute, like Damian Priest and R-Truth, they're not even listed. Danhausen, The Miz, Asuka, and Io Sky is not even in a match. Dragunov, the Usos, LA Knight, The Vision, Tiffany and Julia, like they haven't been announced yet for matches.
We don't need Tiffany. Um,
Oh,
we
you
don't.
don't like that lady at all?
She just Tiffany to me is what like Kendall Gray is. Very pretty, beautiful, boring women. They're boring. They're boring women. But there's no real stories for Tiffany right now. Nah, I mean she has this little thing with Chelsea Green. I don't know if that would be anything. I'm guessing Chelsea foot has healed. I'm guessing she's better now. Um, as if for as if for Damian Priest and R Truth, yes, it doesn't make sense as tag team champions why they don't have a match. I'm sure between this week and next week they'll find something, or they will
That's going to
have them
be
fight the SmackDown before WrestleMania.
that's going to end up at AEW levels of matches. like if they announce any more. But of course,
Well,
look, this
I
is
mean, think
what
about
the
it. When it
fans were
comes down,
asking for, because people
well, I
were
mean,
complaining
it
that
doesn't
there
make
wasn't
sense.
enough.
It doesn't make sense to have champions and the champions don't defend their belts. So you got to make room for them. And as far as I know, we only have three women's matches. The two, the all three
The
of their belts is on the line.
Yeah, so we have AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. We have
Oh, that's
Stephanie
four.
Vaquer, Liv Morgan. We have the Fatal Four Way with the tag belts.
And then Rhea and Jade.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's
Rhea and
four.
Jade. So there's four.
I
Yeah,
forgot the AJ. I forgot the AJ and Becky. I don't know
you
why.
can't forget Becky. Um,
Wow, you can. I'm rooting for AJ. Her
of
husband
course
might
you
not
are.
walk out of WrestleMania with the title, but I'm surely hoping that she does. Only because, there's a message that she has to send, being that she retired or she quit WWE years ago in her last WrestleMania. This is her first WrestleMania in what, like 11 years.
Mm,
Um, so there is a redemption story. She wins, she retains her title in her first WrestleMania in 11 years. So I can only hope that she does retain her title.
yeah,
Um, I I would hope that they do something with Io and Asuka. There's a story brewing between them two, especially when it comes down to Kyrie and
certainly.
the mistreatment that Asuka is doing when it comes down to her. So I would
I can't
hope.
help but think that a lot of these matches are there's not going to be even enough time for them to develop. Like it's do, do, do possibly a couple of squash matches in there, maybe somewhere, because we have the ladder match as well for the IC belt. Penta and all the guys that are involved there. So I'm really looking forward to that one because I love a ladder match anyway. They're normally really really good. So there's a lot there. But look, next week, of course, we can go through our when we have a better idea of maybe the finalized card, we can go through our predictions and things like that.
Yeah.
But what's your feeling about all these celebrities? So we have Jelly Roll, we have Lil Yachty, that's the name, I Show Speed, Tom Brady, Pat McAfee. They're all involved now. Uh, how do you feel about that? Like, is it a bit much?
So I usually don't like to share ideas of articles that I have in mind because, if the idea is too good, then I have to follow through with it.
Mm,
Um, but I do feel like there has been a decline in the star power of the celebrities at WrestleMania. I mean, we was going at some point we had Mr. T and Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson,
the golden days.
you know, and even years later, we had some
But you
pretty.
not feel that's because of the shift in society in general? Because like a lot of people like this I Show Speed, he's just like a YouTube star that has a massive following, and that
But you But I
makes him
like
a
him.
celebrity in
I
some
like
way.
him. I think he fits when it comes down to the younger crowd and who they're going for. Honestly, I Show Speed. It would have been really cool if they had matched him up with Javon. That's more of his speed. That's more of his age group. You know, them two are people like my 14-year-old likes watching. These are the those are the faces of the younger generation. These are
Yeah,
who you want on your show because it's going to make their viewers want to watch
they're
because
the target
their face
market.
is there. Yes.
Yeah,
I don't know who the target market for Jelly Roll. It ain't me.
it's not me anyway.
It's not me. So it's like, what do you add
But he
to
is
the
a big
beginning of
star.
this?
He has a big following. In fairness to him, I believe Tom Brady, of course,
I mean,
megastar.
well, Tom Brady is always going to be my GOAT.
Mm.
However, whatever it is that they're doing with him, not,
Is he going to?
I'm
Yeah,
not really on board with it. Like,
I
it's
thought he
not.
was going to have a match at one stage with Logan Paul, maybe, but I don't think so now.
I'm so glad. I'm
Yeah.
so glad. So glad. But, um, I don't have no personal gripe with any of the choices. I just feel like, honestly, I feel like they looked at the calendar and was like, "Oh shit,
Who's free?
WrestleMania is in a few weeks. Let's find somebody." It
Yeah.
just felt kind of like last minute. Who's popular? Let's tell them we'll give them a nice fat check. Just come, get in our ring, talk your shit, and then you have your WrestleMania moment. That's
Yeah.
just how it feels to me. I mean, there's plenty of other people, not to say maybe they did reach out to them and they're doing tours or whatever, or they're doing movies, so therefore they weren't available. But
Yeah.
if we're going to complain about the star power this year, imagine who they're going to have to go over to Saudi Arabia next year.
Oh, here. That's not. I'm not even going to think about Saudi Arabia.
Just imagine what WrestleMania
Uh, Listen,
in Saudi Arabia is going to be like.
if
So,
if if it happens, like I still don't think it's going to go ahead, but it could be wrong. They've got a whole year yet to make a decision, but we'll see. Did you catch Stand and Deliver from NXT last? I didn't. I haven't seen it yet. I'm hoping
I
to watch it
did.
tonight.
I did.
Yeah,
Congratulations to Miss Lola Vice for being the first Cuban American NXT Women's Champion.
I do like her, Lola
Um,
Vice. Yeah,
so sad for JC Jane, but I also do feel like she will probably be pushed up at some point. Um, the Vanity
Sal
Project,
Ruka was back. She beat Zarya. I thought Sal Ruka was on the main roster now to
not
stay.
yet,
Okay.
not yet. But yeah, she did defeat Zarya. Vanity Project, they retained their titles.
Yeah.
Um, Tatum Paxley, she retained her title
She
against Blake
beat Blake
Monroe.
Monroe, yes. Yeah. You had an article out about Blake Monroe during the week
Yes,
also.
yes,
Um,
yes, she approved. She liked it.
that's great. That's great. Good to hear.
And
Yeah, like
of
that.
course, my Joe, my sweet Joe, lost his title. It was
Yeah,
a
Joe.
sad day yesterday, but you know,
But yeah, I've seen all the results. It's just a question of watching it now because I heard it was quite a
it was a good
um
show. It was
good
good.
show. And you and your son were at NXT during the week also.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. I took him to his first NXT show while they was here in New York. Um, got to pretty much see all the matches that led up to Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
Um, of course, the got to catch a quick glimpse of Shawn Michaels. So of course that did something to younger Megan, because even though Michael knows of the Shawn of today,
The
I
Heartbreak Kid,
know
yeah,
of the
you would have
Heartbreak
been a
Kid.
fan of.
Yes,
And there is a documentary coming out on Peacock
yes.
about Shawn Michaels quite soon. You'll
I'm
be all
looking
over
forward
that.
to watching that. Absolutely,
So, let
absolutely.
me ask you, you're such a Shawn Michaels fan. You prefer him over Bret Hart?
I
Don't
plead the
say it.
fifth. Yeah, I plead the fifth. I am not going to get caught on record saying anything that could be used against
I've never
me.
discussed the Montreal screw job with you, Megan.
You know, that was so long ago. That was so long ago. Like, why we gotta bring up old
Not in
stuff?
my mind. It's
I mean,
anyway.
I understand that Brett still has some hatred for Sean, and Sean is a Christian man now.
He'll tell you
He
that.
has given his self to God,
Yeah, because he
you
lost his
know.
smile way back.
And so yeah, he just, he's just trying to run his company with his girls, because
I,
Sean loves his girls.
Shawn Michaels was a fantastic wrestler. Like, there's no denying that in any way. I would
Absolutely.
never do that. But as I didn't like the way he operated and the stories I heard about him behind the scenes and so on. And I was always a Bret Hart fan. Of course, he's the goat to me. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I mean, we could argue about Brad's feud with Shawn Michaels, but at the end of the day, he doesn't hate nobody more than Bill
Bill
Goldberg.
Goldberg.
And
Yes,
in that aspect, I am 100%, 110% in Bret Hart's corner. I will
excellent.
always choose him.
Delighted to hear that.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
just before we finish up, there's a bit of AEW as well. The AEW Dynasty is the next big installment on April the
Yes.
12th. So that's coming up quite soon. Next weekend, Vancouver, Canada. I promise to start getting up to speed a bit more on AEW as I'm going to All In August in London. So I believe it is fairly exciting. I do watch the pay-per-views, but I don't happen to catch the weekly shows and that. But we have my AEW access now over here, where I'll be able to sign up and get access to some of that a little bit easier. You know, if I dug around with the channels, I'd find where it is. But it's probably ahead of WWE on pure wrestling alone, I would say. The pay-per-views, they've been on fire, and interest has really picked up in the product overall, I think, in recent times. Would you agree?
Yeah, when it comes down to certain feuds and certain
Yeah.
matches and stuff, absolutely. Hey Mimi, how are you? Thanks for joining.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
I do. I don't know. I don't know. I've definitely have kind of been a little lost on some of the things that's been happening in
Bit of a
AEW.
lapsed fan.
Is
Yeah.
But I am glad that the Hurt Syndicate is back. Bobby is back, so I'm looking forward to that. Um, MJF,
He's a real star.
I hope Kenny does take that belt off of him. That will bring me so much joy. Like, it will literally make me shake on the inside of pure happiness.
Yeah,
Take the
there's a
title.
few matches I know of anyway. There's Moxley and Will Ospreay for AEW Dynasty. Andrade versus Darby Allin, MJF, Kenny Omega, and FTR against Cope and Cage. They're the ones I've seen announced so far. It's probably more than that now, but yeah, it's lining up, no doubt, to be another fantastic event, and it's just something nice just a week before WrestleMania, also to feast on.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, we have some familiar faces that came back. We do have uh Cope and Christian,
Yeah.
Edge and Christian, for those who still call them by those names, because I still call Edge Edge.
Yeah, there'll always be that.
Um, we got Chris Jericho that came back. Um, so I mean, it's eh, it's been okay.
Yeah.
It's been okay, but outside of that, I can't say. I really can't tell you, honestly. I can't tell you. Actually,
We were on a break.
yes, we was on a much needed break. Um, this is our second episode, our first live in months.
Yeah.
We had actually stopped. Uh, we went on hiatus. It was like after WrestleMania. It was
It was
after.
between WrestleMania and SummerSlam last year. I think
Yes.
it was around about July, and yeah, for a number of different reasons. But we're just trying to get back into it now a little bit more, build up some momentum, and I think the lives are kind of the way to go. And hopefully, we could possibly do them on a Sunday going forward. That
Yeah.
would probably be
Yeah.
the best thing.
Derek missed me
Of course.
picking on his girls, Lyra and Becky. Oh, we forgot a match.
Yes, the Fatal Four Way,
No,
which
Finn and Dom.
oh yeah, yeah. That goes without like look,
Finn
I
and
want
Dom.
Finn. I want Finn to win that. And I would love
I,
to see the demon make his return. There's a lot of
I'm
people
here for
hoping for
Finn.
that.
I'm here for Finn winning. I'm also here for
Yeah.
him bringing that character back too. I think it's time. There's a lot of things that we want them to do or to bring back. Um,
But
I'm
Finn
still rooting
Balor is
for.
just like he's there's nobody like him here in this country. Like for what he's done for wrestling in Ireland, and his training school and all of that, like the establishment of some of the indie promotions here and everything. He's a legend,
Yeah,
and it's great. And he's still early 40s, like, and in fantastic shape. He still has a lot of time left in him. And
yeah,
this has been building up for quite some time, of course, with Dom, even since last year when Dom pinned him for the Intercontinental Championship. So, long time coming. And Finn is fighting JD McDonough tomorrow night on Raw. That's one of the announced matches.
Oh,
So, that'll be interesting.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's all for your people
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
WrestleMania. Becky against AJ, Lyra and Bailey in the Fatal Four Way, Finn against Dom, and
Yeah.
also JD is going to be in the ladder match for the
Exactly. No
title.
Sheamus, but yeah, I wasn't expecting Sheamus to be on the card anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Well, outside of what happened on Raw and SmackDown and NXT and AEW, um, trying to figure out if there's any outside wrestling stuff that has happened. Quite a lot. But
Yeah.
is there anybody that you're looking forward to coming back at WrestleMania? Because I have someone in mind I would like to see pop up at WrestleMania.
Um, haven't thought about it too much, and I guess that that question always comes up coming up to these events, and who could possibly arrive back on the scene. I think Bianca Belair has been missed, but whether she's in a position like physically recovered, like she's been out for a year now, and
Yeah.
I think it would be a welcome return. Of course, The Rock, I think it'd be interesting to see him return in some way. Whether that happens, I don't know. Braun Breaker, but like that, I don't think he. It's hard to know, But
Yeah.
they're probably the main ones that I think of. I can't think of anybody else at the minute.
Do you think anybody will pop up for the Cody and Randy fight?
Cody and Randy. Oh
Like
well, I
Kevin, Ted Jr.
Ted Jr. is going to be in Vegas. He's at WrestleCon. He's announced and all for WrestleCon, and his dad is going to be there also.
We saw Ted. We've seen Ted. We've seen pictures and videos of him during his trial. Ted is not in ring
He's not
ready.
ready to go. No, he's not.
He is not in ring
No.
ready. But if he just came and, I don't know, did something, That'd be a
He'd be
nice.
booed out of the arena. Do you not feel, because of the heat that's on him with this whole case that they've had
Well,
going?
it wouldn't be the first
Um,
time.
yeah,
It wouldn't be the first time. You
but
know.
there was a video I saw a couple of weeks ago, just after he'd been cleared, and
Mhm.
it was somebody announcing, we're good for Vegas. Now I know he's going to be at WrestleCon, but I think, yeah, there's something else going to happen here, and
He
he's going to be
has
involved in
to.
some way.
I swear he got off by the skin of his teeth because the
Yeah,
fact that this whole feud happened and then his trial was coming to a close and then he was found not guilty on all charges. Not even one.
he was
Guilty
facing
on
40 years, was it? Or
yeah. Yeah, he was about to go away for a long time.
yeah,
He was about to go away for a long time and then all of a sudden not guilty and he'll be at WrestleCon. So it's a very interesting turn of events for Ted Jr.
he had
But
another brother that was a wrestler, Brett DiBiase, and he was very briefly, like, but he wouldn't be involved anyway because he didn't have any dealings with the legacy or anything there. Now, Ted DiBiase Jr. wasn't what you'd call a fantastic wrestler anyway.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, it does go back to that's 20 years ago. It must be when Legacy were around, and
About.
how, yeah.
Mhm.
So do you think that there's still a possibility of like a double turn or a turn for Cody at
I'm
WrestleMania?
hoping that there is. They keep teasing it. He's teasing it.
Hmm.
Um, which it's something that he had said during his promo this past SmackDown that kind of made me pause a little bit. Now, I'm just gonna take it as though he was talking to me, but you know, I leave that
He's
up to
following you, I
everybody else.
believe now, Megan.
But it was something that he said where he just said that he didn't know if he could be that person again. He didn't know if he could be that guy. And it's like if there is anyone in the world that could bring that side out of you, it's Randy. I feel like it's Randy. Randy could definitely be that one that will bring that out of him. Now, I don't think he should be worried about whether or not he could still be that side. I think he needs to be worried about more if he could put that side away once it's
Yeah.
out. You know,
But
once it's out there.
there's also one more person we didn't mention that is actually on hosting duties that weekend, and that's Mr. John Cena.
I don't think he's going to be directly involved. If he is, if he is,
Saudi money.
it's going to be such a small part.
Yeah, no, I don't see him being involved in the ring. It's to generate sales in some way, or speed up the sales of the tickets, because it's been a little bit slower than they would have anticipated. But I can't see him being involved in any way with
Yeah.
on the physical side of things.
No, no. But you know, I Stephanie being involved and her talking to him, and he kept saying something. I thought he said it like twice. Cody said it twice. He kept calling John Cena the angel on his shoulder and Randy the devil on his shoulder. So, John might have some type of role in it
Well,
in some way.
if Cena is there and The Rock comes back and Ted DiBiase Jr., like, you'd think back to 2 years ago in Philadelphia and everybody that showed up at the main event. This could go anyway.
It
But
could.
that's
It
what we
really
love about
could.
wrestling.
But this is why I don't feel like The Rock is definitely. I don't think The Rock is done with Cody.
Mm.
2 years ago, he wanted Cody's head for taking away his match against Roman. A year ago, he wanted Cody's soul. So I don't think The Rock is done with him yet.
No,
I just don't. There is something. I feel like there's something in Cody that The Rock saw, and that's why he just, you know, there's a toughness to him. But I think he also see that there is a dark side in him as well. That's
I
why he
just
wanted
feel
his
whenever the
soul.
time comes, and I've said it before, that he'd be the ultimate heel, Cody.
And
But
I will be rooting for him every step of the way.
yeah,
Burn everything down.
that's it.
That's
So
how I
that's
feel about it.
that's where we're at. I think we've covered most of it for this week. But like I said to you, next week is probably a good time to go over our predictions and things like that, because I'll be setting sail to Vegas then a few days later. Not flying, won't be setting sail,
What
but
if? What if? That
what
would be
if
a good
Cody
if what
joins The
if.
Rock this year? That is a possibility.
Hmm. We'll see.
Yeah,
We will see.
definitely.
All right. It's late for Mr. Derek over there. It should be
Pushing
about
on.
10 o'clock. 10
Yeah,
o'clock your
just
time?
after 10. Yeah, it is. But once again, been delightful to talk wrestling with you, Megan, and
Of
with
course.
thank you to everybody that's contributed with comments and so on, or viewed us. And, make sure to like and subscribe. And we're going to try and be back on a more regular basis, I guess.
Yeah. We'll be back. What?
Yeah.
Next. We still trying to figure out the right days for us. Sundays seem to be a pretty easy breezy day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sunday around about this time, 9:10 for me and 4 or 5 for you. And in 2 weeks' time, I'll be out there on location, and we'll try and do something from there as well. That probably won't be on the Sunday, but it'll be maybe on the Friday or something like that. Be
Mm.
you know,
Did you buy one of the limited tickets to be on Cody's tour bus?
I did not. No, I am not. I don't have that kind of wealth,
Let him
Megan,
drive you
or
around
or
Vegas.
stupidity. But whatever way you want to look at it,
Stupidity.
but it's sold out. It is sold
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. So for all the
So
people that complained about, oh my God, ten
there is a
thousand
market for
dollars.
it. There's
Yeah.
also tickets for sale for the Clash in Italy, and you can make pasta with one of the top wrestlers and sit in the front row for $11,500.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
So
It's like make pasta. Now, what if I
yeah,
bought that? What if I bought that ticket and the wrestler that I had to make
could be
pasta with?
Otis.
I would take Otis over Logan.
Yeah.
I will demand my refund. Give my money back. I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, but look, these tickets are selling out. That's another thing we'll have to discuss at another day too.
Yeah.
I
Because people
mean,
are complaining, but people are
yeah,
still breaking their pockets to buy them. So,
yeah, that is true. That is true. But yeah, look, thank you everybody once again. Thank you, Megan, for your
yeah.
company, and we will see everybody very soon.
Bye.
Take care.